is Daniel Almeida, and my presentation will be about preventing type 2 diabetes. For this course, like I mentioned, it will be about preventing type 2 diabetes with the audience of older adults of ages 60 years and older with the method of models. We'll meet every Saturday at 10 a.m. for 3 weeks, just for 40 minutes. For the objectives, participants will identify their own habits and come up with at least 3 lifestyle choices that could put you at risk for type 2 diabetes by the end of week 1. Write down at least 2 physical activities and be able to demonstrate one by the end of week 2. Create an achievable health plan that includes nutrition and activity goal by the end of week 3. And evaluate their personal progress by sharing their experience or changes in behavior. For week 1, we have lifestyle changes and diabetes risk factors, but let's start with some icebreakers. Here are a few ideas. We could vote by raise of hands. You could choose if you want to introduce yourself with the person next to you. Each person shares one goal and what they hope to get out of this class. Or we could do step circle where everyone stands, ask questions like take a step forward if you've ever meal prepped, or take a step back if you dislike exercise. So let's talk a little bit about why it's important to prevent diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes can lead to serious health complications affecting multiple organs and systems. These complications include nerve damage, kidney disease, heart disease, blindness, and cognitive impairment. So for the importance of preventing type 2 diabetes, this is a motto I would have liked to have. I would have also liked to give this to each and one of you, but since this is online, it's more of a visual aid model from the Elite Care Health Centers, where it explains a few risk factors of type 2 diabetes. For example, we have obesity, inactivity, genetics, maybe your parents or grandparents might have had diabetes, your age, and ethnicity. I would also like to have done an activity where we do matching flashcards, where we match behaviors like poor diet or no physical activity to a related risk while using flashcards. The risk doesn't have to be yours in particular. This is just in general where you see different risk factors or different exercises, and you could match if it does if it is a risk of having type 2 diabetes. So we have like a few behaviors and then the risk. So for this part, let's think about one personal behavior you could improve in and share with the class. You could write it down. We could say it out loud in class, something you plan on doing. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It could just be like changing eating habits, more hydration, or more physical activity. Just something for us to talk and set up a plan. So for week 2, we will be talking about physical activity. So let's do a quick review on what we've learned. We learned the risk of having type 2 diabetes and recognized any bad behaviors that could lead up to diabetes. And how did you feel after the first class? Feel free to share any comments or ask any questions based on the first lecture. And here's a model of exercise examples. Here these show a few simple exercises you could add into your routine. In the morning, you could wake up, stretch, and if your place of work is from within walking distance, you could always walk to work instead of taking that 4-minute drive. You could always take the stairs instead of the elevator. If you can, shoulder rolls, if you're in an office setting, sitting down the whole time, you can always do some shoulder rolls or stand up and do some as well. In the evening, if you have an open space, you could always do some body weights, your own body weight squats, walk, or some yoga. Exercise is crucial because it improves insulin sensitivity, helps regulate blood sugar levels, and reduces the risk of weight gain. Here are a few more examples. If you like more of a challenge, you could do some aerobic exercises, resistance training, 8 to 10 exercises, 2 to 4 sets, and 8 to 10 reps, and some interval training, some high intensity interval training is also really helpful. And I encourage all of you, if you can, to try it. You could always do some calf raises. It doesn't have to be now, next time you're at work, in an office setting, or just sitting down, you could always do some calf raises. And here are some office stretches. This is another visual aid I saw. While this does say these are office stretches to save your spine, I've learned in previous courses as well that any type of movement really helps when you're just sitting down. We have some back stretches, some quad stretches, and a few different stretches where you could do sitting down as well. Again, drinking your water, standing up at work for a bit, and using the stairs is really helpful. And I'd want you to choose a physical activity you'd like to do for that week. There are many exercises that could help keep you healthy, like running, weightlifting, swimming, and cycling. And for week 3, we are doing nutrition and personal goals. So let's do a quick recap on what we've learned so far. We know diabetes can lead to serious health complications affecting multiple organs and systems. Poor diet and a sedentary lifestyle can be a factor into getting diabetes, and how there are so many exercises we could do to help prevent that. Here is a model I would also like to include. It's the My Plate model, and the My Plate model is a visual representation of a healthy meal designed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to promote balanced and nutritious eating. Here we have our fruits, grains, protein, vegetables, and dairy. Fruits could include like berries, apples, oranges. Vegetables could be broccoli, carrots, spinach. Grains like brown rice, whole wheat bread. And for protein, of course, like meat, chicken, fish. And for dairy, like milk, cheese, yogurt. In this, if we were in an in-person setting, I would like to have the actual plate and provided a few plastic little like kid toys, plastic toys of food groups where you get to create your own group, your own food group. For example, like if I have some plastic chicken, some plastic peas, you get to create, each and one of you, your own food group just to get that example. I would have also liked to have that paper in person and hand it out to one of you just so you could keep as a reference. But here's another reference on what it looks like. Here we have an example of some non-balanced foods, like we have donuts, cakes, french fries, burgers, something that's not really balanced and not really healthy. And we have here an example of like what the My Plate kind of looks like. We have the protein, the vegetables, our fruits, and the grains. And then I want you to make your improvement plan with a diet change and an activity goal. Some ideas could be like maybe you might want to balance carbs, increase fiber, and avoid blood sugar spikes. Maybe daily movement and weekly structured exercise. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, or stretch for 5 minutes before bed. So in summary, in this 3-week course, we learned about the health complications that could lead from diabetes, as well as some physical exercises that we could do to help prevent and manage diabetes. We ended the course with the last lesson talking about nutrition and making improvement plans. And then I would also ask, are there any goals, tips, or feedback you'd like to share? I want everyone to feel as comfortable as possible. If you're open to it, maybe take a moment to think about something you've been doing since the start of class that's helped you, whether it's a routine or a small habit. Or maybe there's a new goal you're thinking about adding in now. And if you have any feedback or thoughts you'd like to share, anything at all, it's always appreciated. You can share with someone next to you or speak up to the whole class if you're comfortable. Totally up to you. And that is it. Thank you.